Today, big dog.
Man, today, man, I really want us to talk about, look, man, I know that some of y'all probably have been seeing this 50-something-year-old man with a fade and in a European suit with glasses on.
Yes.
Telling women that they are not high value.
Yes.
He talking about the Reverend Minister Kevin Samuels. It's a joke, y'all. Relax.
Yes.
I'm just, that's who they're talking about for those of y'all who don't know.
Yeah.
Some of y'all probably love him. Some of y'all not so much.
And this is old, obviously.
This
it's
is older.
2 years old.
At this
before
point,
he
he was
passed.
still alive.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
And that if you are a low value woman, you shouldn't expect to get a high value man.
That's right.
And going on podcasts and shows asking women all kind of superficial questions about themselves, like where do they rate themselves on a scale of 1 to 10, and then him giving his own subjective opinion about where they rate on his scale, I guess, which I don't know if that matters.
Right.
But I'm talking about a gentleman named Kevin Samuels.
Kevin Samuels.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna break some things down for you. I'm just trying to give y'all some facts about the situation. Okay, so he based the rating system on what he perceived as an image consultant to be considered pretty or beautiful in the eyes of the general public.
Yes.
Right. So he would be talking about facial structure, how your cheekbones sit, how symmetrical your face is, based on the current idea of beauty, how thick the lips are, how wide it is. He was talking about it from that perspective. And then he also understood one thing that a lot of us don't want to admit to. There is a universal standard amongst Americans of what the standard of beauty is. Now, that does apply to both people who have beautiful chocolate skin.
Oh, boy.
Yes, baby.
That's right. I'm sorry. Look, we on camera. All right, look. PG. There is a standard of beauty that applies to that. And how you determine the standard of beauty is the woman who is considered beautiful or pretty to the larger amount of men. The larger the amount of men she is considered pretty to, the higher her rating.
That's right.
I will tell you, as somebody who likes them a little thick.
She say I'm obsessed with thick women, and I agree.
I do. I like some thick. I do. I likes all of that extra. I don't like no little skinny girl. All right. I like some thick. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, babe. I appreciate you. Look, there are less guys who like women like I like them. There are more guys who like women a little bit slimmer. Yes, they want shape, but slimmer.
You ain't lying.
And I can look at a woman who is slimmer and be like, oh, she is pretty. Now, I might not be attracted to her like I'm attracted to my wife, but, we married. It's a whole different, it's a whole bunch of list of psychological, physiological, physical things. You know what I'm saying? We won, so it's different. Ain't none of y'all gonna compare to my wife because it's my wife. That's how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. But I can still look at a woman and be like, oh, she's pretty and she's slimmer. But the thing is, there are more guys who would like the slimmer woman than the woman who's thick. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just is a scale. There's a reason why there's BBW models, there's Instagram models, and then there are supermodels. Yes. It is not so much that they're not pretty, but there's a greater percentage of men who think that those women are prettier when they're slimmer. That is how you do the rating system. And the thing is, it was an insight into how men think.
Yeah.
Realistically, it wasn't idealistic. It wasn't like, oh, everybody is beautiful, everybody is pretty. Why we be lying?
Now, I don't know who these guys are, but I do know that they're lying to you.
You know that dude that was jacking you when you was in high school was ugly. And the reason you ain't get with him is because he was ugly.
Wow. Listen.
Stop
it.
We be lying about a lot of this stuff.
You lied again.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the guys, y'all know that too. I think they're more willing to admit it because most guys won't be like, I'm a 10, dog. No, most dudes is like, man, I'm like 5.5 on good day right after I come out the barbershop. Like most dudes is real about it. What a lot of people don't like to admit also is Kevin Samuels was right about a lot. That's why he was so popular.
That part.
An unapologetic insight into how men choose, especially high value men. The reason he gave all of these superficial ideas is because high value men are looking at you because you're sitting amongst a sea of dang near supermodels. And you the one person that's walking in there looking sort of kind of regular.
Ouch.
You're going to stick out like a sore thumb and not in the best way. Yes, they should be looking at character first, but they not. Why? Because all of these supermodels is like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, you want to take me on a date? I've been looking at you from across the room. I'm going to tell you right now, all y'all that watches, if every person that you think is hot, every supermodel, every whatever, if you had 10 of them checking you out every month aggressively, like the person, for some of y'all ladies, it might be Idris Elba. It was a bunch of Idris Elba looking dudes walking in there looking like, you know what I'm saying, leaving like they'll leave you hurting if y'all got together. You know what I'm saying? Them guys. There's a bunch of them dudes walking in there, they like, yo, what up? You know, they got that vibe for you. You gonna get a little spoiled after a while. Yep. You saw how the light dimmed when she left? That's how marriage is supposed to do you. When they come back in there, they supposed to bring the light back in. Shine your world. I'm kidding. But we have to be real about a lot of this stuff. And this is what I don't like. And this is why a lot of men have left the churches, because we can't even be honest about stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah.
And then also speak the truth of, well, guys, especially as somebody who's in the church, you need to be looking at character first.
Yes. Right.
The prettiest is, that's all good, but it's gonna fade away. So you need to be concentrating on character first. And if somebody got more character, and let's say in your eyes they're not necessarily a 10, but they're more like a 6 or a 5, you might need to get with her if y'all lock in when it comes to character. If y'all get along well, if you're equally yoked, you might need to let that go, bruh.
You got that right.
Let it go.
So that's like the real conversation, but a lot of times they don't want to have that combo.
And Kevin Samuels.
And
he's been making a lot of waves lately.
Man, I was hoping that dude was going to go away. But he's being platformed.
Right. By a lot of outlets. In some outlets, I mean, in hip hop, Joe Budden at least was well respected. Joe Budden gave that man a full-throated endorsement. Oh, I didn't even see that.
Oh, yeah. He said, I love Kevin Samuels stuff.
So,
yes,
Kevin Samuels, I mean, he's been some of y'all may not know who he is, but I guess he's an entrepreneur, but some kind of relationship coach. I don't know how he's positing himself these days.
Yes.
But Kevin Samuels actually belongs to something that's bigger within the internet world, and it's kind of like something that I guess I could call like the manosphere type of community. This community of men who have these podcasts, or this pickup artist community of these men that are constantly making videos on YouTube or podcasts about how to talk to women, how to get women. And usually the manosphere guys like, there's another podcast from these brothers called Fresh and Fit, which Kevin Samuels has been on. They've had like a lot of model women on there. And
if you guys made it this far, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, turn on your post notifications, and give us a thumbs up. So that way YouTube knows that you appreciate what we're putting down.
What we're putting down.
The whole thing just shook.
Yeah, it's supposed to. It's supposed to.
Yeah, Kevin Samuels and Fresh and Fit, not the same by any means.
They're not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to add other than like pretty much what you already said. Like we got to stop lying to ourselves.
Just stop lying to yourself.
To just be honest. Like we all know that we find certain types of people more attractive than others, and that's okay. People have their individual preferences, yes, but usually overall, the majority of people tend to think certain people are beautiful. Like, for example, most people wouldn't argue the fact that Beyonce is a beautiful woman. Yep. Right? Mm-hmm. So it's like we do all have a standard of beauty, and that's all basically.
And then take the very same thing, the very exact same people that did it, and make it like hundreds of thousands of people. Mm-hmm. You think Beyonce is very pretty? Heck yeah. What about Lizzo? A bunch of the women be like, yeah, girl. And a bunch of guys be like,
Dang. And that's all we saying is just be honest.
Let's be honest
just
about
stop
it.
Lying.
Yes, but when they confront him about it, he lied again.
That's part of the problem, and that's part of the reason why we in the predicament we in right now.
Yep.
Because we be lying to each other. Yep. Stop lying to each other because we don't want to make people feel bad, and tell the truth. Not saying that you have to go around and shame people or, you know what I'm saying, or make them feel less than, but we need to be honest with people for themselves. Like somebody like a Lizzo. You know, she's not an ugly woman.
I know everybody would say that she was very pretty.
No, she's very pretty, but she's unhealthy as far as her size. I think she did lose some weight recently or whatever.
Like the video she used to do with the food and stuff.
Yeah, and the way that she eat. Like,
wilding.
Stop lying. Like, people who do stuff like that, don't lie to them, because you're not helping them. You're hurting them, because they're gonna think that all is well. Oh, and I'm great. People accept me the way I am, and this, that, and the third, or what have you. And I don't have to make any changes. And that's dangerous, because she could die. I mean, you could die from being, you know what I'm saying, smaller as well too.
Too small.
But you have a higher probability of someone who is overweight, especially if you have really bad eating habits.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's stop lying to one another or what have you. And like, you can tell people things in a way in which they can receive it in a loving way. It doesn't have to be in a way where you make them feel bad about it.
And that is where Kevin Samuels used to fall off.
Right. That's why a lot of people didn't like him, because he was just... He was real cutthroat with it.
Why? I don't know why y'all went on that show, man. But
people went obviously because they
needed help.
They needed help, and they did value the information that he was given. Because if you are the type of woman who you're looking specifically for the type of man that he was talking about, a high value man that's making a certain amount of money, then yes, then we need to realize that the guys in this stratosphere.
What are your superpowers again? I'm rich.
In this particular area, these are the things that they're looking at, because they have a plethora of women to choose from, good-looking women to choose from. So he's like, yeah, if you really want to do this, you got to be realistic with yourself.
Yep.
Because if not, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yep.
Like, you're setting yourself up to end up, like he would say, die alone or with some cats.
Yep.
You know, because if you're holding out because you want this type of guy, but realistically, that's probably not something you're going to get because of your physical appearance, or maybe because of your attitude, or maybe because of your baggage, this, that, and the third. He was trying to help people out, whether or not, you know, you may not agree with his methods or as far as how he spoke to people.
I didn't even agree with his methods.
Yeah, I didn't agree.
But I mean, there's a reason he had millions of followers and was gaining, like, something was working. And so look,
I didn't agree with everything.
No, not at all.
But I do wholeheartedly believe that he was really trying to help women specifically when he gained his popularity, because he did this with men too. A lot of people may not realize this before he blew up with the women folk, before the average at best video or what have you. He was really basically trying to get us together so we can actually have good relationships with one another. So, and
he had a lot of insight, even though he was divorced like twice. I don't even remember how it was, but he was divorced and all this other stuff. There's a certain thing that happens with wisdom, and sometimes you have to go through the fire and fail to earn wisdom, and sometimes you learn from the mistakes of others, right? Which would be knowledge. But some people, even when they learn wisdom, they can just tell you what don't work. And the thing is, what he was talking about most of the time that everybody gravitated towards was, look, this is what, from my experience being around them, this is what men that you would consider high value like. This is what they say. This is how they act. And guess what? It was a fact, because after he said that, I don't even know how many rich men came out and tell you that this is how we move. Joe Buttons tells you this is how we move. Corey Holcomb tells you this is how we move. All of these guys are coming out, and these are not even like the highest of the high. You have all of these guys coming out telling you, yeah, this is how we move, because this is what we're accustomed to, because this is what we have access to. And then everybody sits there and be arguing them down, trying to argue them down. But they're not going to change because you're mad about it. They don't care. Nope. Because the women that are chasing them are not going to stop chasing them, no matter how upset we get about it. So it's just one of those things. Also, I don't like when they lump everybody in the manosphere in one group. Yeah, just like you can't lump all feminists into one group. You'll have feminists who will believe in equal rights and that we are equal in terms of our value to society as a man and as a woman, and there should be no real difference, and we are way more alike than we are different and stuff like that. And then there's a feminist who says, I hate men. In the same way, there are pickup artists and womanizers in the manosphere, and then there are people who are actually like, look, this is the difference between men and women. This is their mating strategies. This is what they're looking for. And you can deny it all you want to, but you're going to suffer the consequences of being willfully ignorant. Like, they're not the same, but they're all manosphere. And I think at one point people would have considered us manosphere. And y'all can't tell by now that we ain't really manosphere, but we definitely ain't feminists. We claiming Jesus. And he tends to fall in the middle with certain things, because the manosphere loves the fact that he says the man is the head of the home. They might not like as much that he's saying you need to sacrifice, love, and care for your wife. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a little bit of... That's how Jesus moved. You know, he pissed everybody off, just like we do. I mean, to be honest, we could have just went manosphere full and we would be probably have 20,000 subs right now. If we just would have went straight manosphere and just was beating up on women because of all of the things that they do wrong, but never say anything that the men do wrong.
That is not what we are called. But
that ain't what we supposed to. That's not what we here for. All right, guys, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to hit that like button. I need you to subscribe.
Yeah, what you said.
I need you to hit that subscribe button. I need you to hit that notification button. You ain't saying no. I need you to hit all the buttons. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. Down in the description, there are 2 links.
One is to a GoFundMe, and the other one is to a video that explains what the GoFundMe is for. Long story short, we have a medical situation with our daughter that we have to pay for everything out of pocket, and we could really use you guys' help. If you have the time, we'd love for you to go check it out. If you have the money, the funds, we'd love for you guys to help. If not, maybe you could send a link to somebody else who can help. We thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Peace.
Just stop lying to yourself.